They graduated to stopping tanks. And now, the Caltrop is your defense against propaganda, polished lies, and manufactured outrage. It's free from counterfeit credibility and synthetic truth. However, inside the walls of the Caltrop, you're going to be forced to think. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Mike Calderese is the Caltrop.
Coming down the mountain from the heaven to the hell, the Mike Calderese, the Caltrop, he never stops, so ring the bell. He bring the facts, he spin up every morning till we sleep. He get it deep, Mike Calderese, in your head and in your sheets. We don't mind and we don't care, Mike Calderese is the Caltrop. We don't mind and we don't care, Mike Calderese is the Caltrop. And we don't mind and we don't care, Mike Calderese is the Caltrop.
Good evening and welcome to the Caltrop. I am your host, Michael Calderese, and it is great to start off a weekend or start off a Monday with you guys. We have a lot in the show tonight, so welcome. Remember, we are the Caltrop. We are where the bullshit goes to die, okay? And what I mean by that is everybody knows I'm on a mission to call out fake, but I'm also on the mission to see what's going on, to get to the real news. To get to the real facts of things. And you know, I did an interview with an Orthodox Jewish man last night, and I've been teeing it up because he is the president of the Jackson Township Council. And it's just interesting when I put that up. I just know when it finally airs. I'm just trying to get information. I'm just trying to have a conversation. And yes, air out some of the problems that we are having. But it's going to be funny. Like the best part of this whole thing is it's going to be funny watching people turn, that were fully in supportive of me, watching me turn, probably saying I went too easy on them. And then it's going to be very interesting watching the other group of people call me names, call me things like an anti-Semite for some of the things that I said. And the whole time you sit back and you realize this is all one very weird game. And people only like you when you're telling the truth. I've said this a lot to everybody, and I'm bringing it up again because it seems like the truth tellers, no matter what it is, are the ones that are getting hammered, the ones that are taking the most shit. And it honestly comes from each side. We're going to be talking about MTG and Trump tonight, and we're going to be talking about loyalty. And it seems like there's loyalty being demanded, but there's not loyalty that's being pushed, that's being put back. And I see that in a lot of people. That now, when I started doing some of these videos, people say things like, "We're relying on you to bring us this or bring us that." But you realize that when I bring them something they don't want to hear, the loyalty's gone, right? It's almost like listen, I'm going to be loyal to you to bring you the truth the way I see it, nonstop, all the time. But when I do that, I need everybody to be loyal back. And it's sometimes, I don't know if it happens, and I'm not criticizing anybody here. I'm just really working through it in my mind because it's really cool to do all the things that I'm doing. And really the watching the reaction is so, it's the most fun part of actually doing this, and watching the comments and watching the hate and watching it come back and forth. And everybody knows how to do something better. It's really cool. But the point of this whole thing is the idea of loyalty. And we're going to be talking about that today. We're going to be talking about, obviously, we can't get away from it. We have the Epstein list is still being talked about. It's still being discussed. This is months later. And now we're finally going to have a vote to see where everybody is. Another vote. It's just, these people have not listened to me. And what you're seeing is when people make a mistake, you don't have the loyalty. Like, where should your loyalty end when the people that you trusted to be loyal to you aren't loyal to you anymore? That's going to be the point of the Mike's Right. We have obviously new updates with this Trump shooter. It's just getting weirder and weirder. Somehow Tucker gets the scoop on this. And apparently he had an online presence where he was saying all types of murderous, crazy things. And then his presence went away. So we're going to be getting into the Trump shooter. We have a Michelle Obama's white girl hair and a laundry list of different news just to kind of talk over. 300. We're talking about record car repos. We're talking about haven't seen this since 2009. Is that an ominous sign of the economy? What's going on there? We have a bunch of different stories. 625,000 deportations, but we will get all that. But let's get the show started. The mic's right. All right. We are going to talk about loyalty today because apparently, guys, in politics and honestly, in regular everyday life, loyalty is kind of like that friend who only calls when when you need to move a couch. They demand it. They expect you to move it for them. They swear they're all about loyalty and friendship. But the second you say, hey, man, that fucking bed has got bed bugs all over it, suddenly you're the problem. And nothing exposes this dichotomy better than Trump and Marjorie Taylor Greene, MTG. The newest WWE match that nobody asked for. Trump's out here tossing people on the disloyalty shit list fast. And he's like the principal of some dysfunctional middle school. Rand Paul, disloyal. Thomas Massey, disloyal. Marjorie Taylor Greene, former top-tier Trump cheerleader, suddenly demoted to janitor, disloyal. She was a MAGA billboard 10 months ago, for Christ's sake. Now is banished from MAGA? How? Apparently, if you're not clapping like a trained seal for every decision, every choice that Trump makes, you're a traitor to the cause. And it's wild watching MAGA pick sides. I mean, some are like, yes, sir, whatever you say, sir. I'm going to believe everything you say, sir. You're the greatest, sir. And some of us are like, hold up. When did I wake up in North Korea light somehow? The funniest part is I never liked MTG. I basically called her the human embodiment of a Facebook comment section. She was the AOC of the right. But now I'm looking at her like, damn, she's kind of right. That's how upside down things are right now. MTG is the voice of reason. We're in the upside down world. This is like Stranger Things season 28. Fetterman is smart and MGT is logical. But let's get very brutally honest right here, and I mean brutal. What do you do, everybody, when Trump is disloyal to MAGA? What happens? And I'm being serious about this. What do you do when the guy who built the movement stops following the rules of the movement? He could change them because, he's in charge. Because MAGA, to me, wasn't Trump first. It wasn't blind loyalty first. It was America first. It was transparency. It was truth. It was accountability. It was drain the swamp. To me, drain the swamp didn't mean relocate the swamp into the West Wing. But here we are. Take H-1B visas. Remember when Trump said they were destroying American workers? Well, now all of a sudden he's saying we need them to train us non-talented Americans. Remember him calling us Americans non-talented? MAGA apparently stands now for more Asians getting approved. That's outstanding. Great job, guys. Is that loyalty? Epstein's list. Months of promising it, running on it in your campaign, and you were promised transparency day one in office. Then, poof, you slow rolled it like a DMV line run by snails. Is that America first? No. That's political self-preservation 101. Then we got this. Hosting of a literal Al-Qaeda guy on Veterans Day, the new Syrian president. That's like inviting a vegan to a steakhouse and handing them a raw ribeye as a friendship bracelet. What are we doing? Is that loyalty to the troops or loyalty to whoever writes the foreign policy ransom notes? And don't get me started on the 60-day, 48-day, whatever day it was, shutdown. Was that America first? Or was that, let's see how long we could do nothing and blame each other for it? And you all know my stances on that because I spoke about it very in depth. It should have went nuclear very early on. But foreign aid, Israel funding, Ukrainian funding, everybody getting a check except American citizens dealing with grocery bills that look like mortgage statements at this point. MAGA was supposed to be about saying no to handing out billions while Americans drown, not playing Santa Claus with taxpayer money like we're running to the North Pole Treasury. Then there's, of course, there's the continuing resolutions, the same budget duct tape we were promised would end. Guess what? Still here again. Is that America first? Still duct taping? Swamp apparently is up 10-0 at this point. Look, when I do this, I get called names again. And I want to clarify to everybody that's losing their shit right now. I don't think everything Trump is doing is anti-MAGA. A lot of it is really good. Some of it is solid, but a good chunk of it isn't what the movement stood for, and I'm not going to defend it. And now MTG, who's defended Trump harder than anybody, is suddenly getting called names like she's the ex-housewife who asked for the fucking kids on Christmas. Why? Because she asked why the Epstein list isn't released. That's what she questioned. Because she questioned hosting a terrorist in the White House. Oh my God. Because she asked for MAGA promises to be kept. That sounds horrific. Marjorie, how could you possibly do that? Loyalty isn't loyalty if it only works one way, guys. That's not a principle. That's a cult rule book. And here's the truth nobody wants to say out loud again because they fear being labeled disloyal. The people calling out Trump right now are actually the ones trying to save him. Because at this pace, you guys know it, they're getting wiped out in the midterms. This is like watching a football team that refuses to admit that their quarterback is throwing directly to the other team. Cue the Browns. You cannot keep fumbling the narrative and expect voters to cheer because I will not be there to cheer for it. Trump's administration isn't controlling the narrative right now. They're letting it run them over like a golf cart. These are unforced errors, not errors from the media. These are unforced errors from inside the White House. And you MAGA voters, the ones who believe in the promises, trusted the words, and put everything behind this movement, how elated were you when he won? If they walk away and you walk away disappointed after these 4 years, if you feel burned, it's over for a long time with Trump-style voters. Where's the hope if this is our once-in-a-lifetime shot like we think for real change? Why should anyone stay loyal to a person or party that doesn't give loyalty in return? But don't worry, guys. You'll get your $2,000 stimulus checks because apparently MAGA socialism is suddenly awesome. I didn't know free money from the government made the platform of MAGA. But I guess we moved from America first to MAGA. Make allowances great again. You guys love your allowances, don't you? Give it to me. Give it to me. What do you think is going to happen with then? Higher prices. But I digress. Look, Trump will probably call me names too if he heard this and I was in with him. He could add me to the list right under Rand Paul, Thomas Massey, and Marjorie Taylor Greene. But they're saying him, if you ask me. But this is sad. This is the great issue of our time, is the stuff that matters. The big fights MAGA was built for. But they're not being talked about. They're being ignored under a pile of unforced mistakes, foreign policy confusion, and loyalty tests that no reasonable person could pass, nor would I want them to. Loyalty should be earned, rewarded, and mutual, not demanded like tributes like a king. Because if the movement forgets what it stood for, if it forgets the promises, and if it forgets America first, then the loyalty people gave won't just disappear. It'll turn into something way worse. Disappointment. And disappointment, to me, is the real killer in politics. I've watched it take my own town for the last 12 years, being disappointed in a person or a party. And look, all I'm trying to say is the wonderful things that he is doing and that the administration has accomplished are being overshadowed by all the bad and all the ridiculous and all the name calling that's going on with this infighting. Republicans fighting Republicans. Seems like they fight Republicans harder than they fight Democrats. That's the Mike's Right. Hope you listen. All right, guys. So, a lot of people might not like what I had to say right there. And it is what it is because I'm going to get into the chat and let's see how many people are yelling at me so far. Let's go. I don't have a lot of people yelling at me. Tell me what you think of the chat after you finger blast the fuck out of my like button. I'd really appreciate it if you finger my like button and finger the hell out of that share button. We need an army of Caltrops. We need a lot of like-minded people. We need a lot of free thinkers because I got to tell you something. I didn't care for Marjorie Taylor Greene. I've already told you about this. I didn't care about this woman. And I always thought she was ridiculous. But now, is this Is this so bad? So I listened to her a little bit on CNN, and I want to play this for you because, first off, it's very weird that she's running to these liberal news stations all of a sudden. She's on every single news station. So that definitely throws me a little bit, and they're embracing her. You had like Jamie Raskin, like, come on over to the Democrats, MTG. It's like all of a sudden you're welcoming this woman when she was literally the embodiment of full MAGA evil to the left. Now they love her because God forbid she's going against Trump, which to me, I don't know why Trump isn't taking her positions in the first place. But they asked, let's see, CNN attack or Trump. Let's see, which one is first here? I don't have them in order like an asshole. Let's see. I think it's this one.
The political breakup heard round the world. President Trump severing ties with at least one of his closest allies, declaring, I am withdrawing my support and endorsement of Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, even calling for primary challenges against his one-time loyalists and attacking her as, quote, wacky, a ranting lunatic, a rhino, and a traitor. This is days before the House of Representatives is set to vote on releasing the Epstein files. It's a stunning breach between two MAGA leaders, one of whom is here with me now exclusively for her first interview since the president cut ties. Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene of Georgia, thank you so much for being here, as you just heard. And I know you saw the president says he's withdrawing support for you, encouraging primary challengers. You were one of his biggest supporters. What do you think happened here?
Well, Dana, thank you for having me on. And that is true. I stood with President Trump when virtually no one else did. Campaigned all over the country, spent millions of my own dollars helping him get elected. And I think that's incredibly important. And I do support him and his administration. And I support them in delivering the campaign promises we made to the American people.
So there you go. I mean, they basically give you a little intro to it. Trump's talking about wacky. She's a ranting loon. She's a rhino. I was calling her that shit 8 months ago when she was a Trump billboard during the State of the Union or whatever hell where she was doing it. I think she was a Trump billboard when Biden was talking. Do you remember that? She was full Trump sunglasses, Trump hat, Trump tattoo on her ass. She had Trump earrings. She had Trump cufflinks. Hey, you got to coordinate. You got to coordinate a mushroom belt, mushroom socks. Name that movie. So let's get there, because I had to get out of it and get back in. So we have obviously Yankee 68, and this time Yankee 68's talking shit. He's the first one in the chat, calling out Jay Calda. Where you at? It's Johnny 69. Let's fucking go. 8 calories. What's up, guys? What's today's show about? Today's show is about a lot of different things. If you caught the intro there, calories. Epstein is going to be a big nothing burger. It's going to be a big nothing burger, Tone. And here's the problem with the Epstein stuff is they just let this shit linger, and they let it linger, and then they played stupid games. They could have just delayed it and say, listen, we want to get everything set for you. The Democrats had a lot of weirdness in this. There's a lot of weird stuff. There seems like there's a lot missing. We want to take our time to make sure we release the full list. Give us some time to figure this thing out, because you had the Democrats that had it for the last 4 years, and they fucked it like royally. So you could have made it to where the Democrats looked horrible with this, but you didn't. What you did was you gave it to a bunch of YouTubers. They came out dancing with it in their hands. The Epstein list had it big and labeled. They were all dancing. They were all excited, and it was the same stuff that was already out that these guys, every one of them, those people have already reported on. And you made those people look like idiots. Then they made themselves look like idiots. And now what have they done? Everyone that has listened to me, I don't know why these political campaigns don't just listen to me, because you guys have. I said then, when they were making these promises, do you remember when they were saying we're going to release this Epstein list during the campaign? And I said, this is stupid. Why are you owning this? Why are you owning the list? It doesn't make any sense. Why are you taking ownership of this thing only to have it backfire in your face? And it doesn't matter right now if it's a big nothing burger. Because it is. Because everything's already gone. But you're going to get this drip, 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 because there's a couple things about Trump in there that they're kind of going through, but it wasn't any type of a big deal. But what did they do? They handed out these emails. They redacted names of people that, this is stuff that was already there. It was already out. and they're acting like it's new information because they're cutting out a name and saying, "Oh, this is a witness or a victim," instead of Virginia Guthrie, who is everyone has seen this paper. They allowed this narrative to get used against them, and to me it's absolutely ridiculous. Mama Dukes said, "I think she was inside trading like Pelosi." They were all inside trading like Pelosi. A goon, yo, what is up? A goon, PT Pod, let's fucking go. Can't chat for my phone. Jersey Abe, let's go. PT Pod, he's going right after me. So stay on, pop right over there to PT Pod. I think he's right after me every Monday, Wednesday, Monday. I think all week long he's going right after me in some way, shape, or form. I love it. Mama Dukes, Fresh Mike, Jay Calda, everybody in the chat. But that's listen, let's play a couple more of these guys because I put it in, right? This is a very interesting thing. Is Trump MAGA still is what CNN asked Marjorie Taylor Greene, and her answer was very interesting. Take a listen.
As well, I do want to play something that he said this week.
Don't forget, MAGA was my idea. MAGA was nobody else's idea. I know what MAGA wants better than anybody else, and MAGA wants to see our country thrive.
Do you agree? Do you think he represents the MAGA movement as he once did?
Well, what the American people voted for with MAGA was to put the American people first and stop sending foreign aid and stop being involved in foreign wars. They very much deserve to be put first. Cost of living is far too high. Health insurance is completely out of control. And those are two issues I've been very vocal on for months and months now, long before Republicans were shocked when those big losses came on this past Tuesday's election. So I think that the American people deserve to be put first. That's what Make America Great Again meant to me. And I think that President Trump can do that if he refocuses his effort. And I think that's what I want to see. I think that's what the country wants to see. Even if he's attacking me, I do want him to be successful for the American people.
So, I mean, if you take that for what it is, I don't think she's very far off. I really don't. And it's interesting listening to someone like Donald Trump call anybody else a rhino, because he has moved the Republican Party way to the center. I don't care what anybody says. He has taken a party that was right and he's ripped it to the center. But the problem is the center line has moved way left. So now where Trump has brought it, it makes it look like it's far right, but it really isn't. Trump's a big liberal spending Democrat his whole life. If everyone is honest with it, is Trump some like uber Republican non-rhino? No. So he really is a Republican in name only, because Trump's not a Republican. MAGA to me isn't Republican. I don't know what anybody else is looking at, but MAGA to me is its own thing. It was its own party. It was a way better version of the Tea Party movement back in the day. But it's funny that Trump says that he came up with the Make America Great thing. No, Ronald Reagan did. Really, he ran on it, and then Bill Clinton used it. And there's 3 different presidents that used some type of Make America Great Again slogan in their campaigns over the last 50 years of my lifetime. Now, was it his idea to bring it back up? Sure. And were you the leader of the movement? Absolutely. 100% you are. But again, like I go back to the monologue. When is it where things like this are just wrong on any level? I don't care if you're mad. I don't care like if you think you're full MAGA or not. Is being MAGA calling someone like Marjorie Taylor Greene a traitor? Listen to her response on this.
And families, neighbors, and it's not solving our problems. The most hurtful thing he said, which is absolutely untrue, is he called me a traitor. And that is so extremely wrong. And those are the types of words used that can radicalize people against me and put my life in danger.
I mean, you call someone a traitor. That's serious language. Who is she a traitor to? A traitor to you or a traitor to America? Because I thought she was supposed to be for America. I didn't think she had to be at your beck and call all day, every day. And once again, I never liked Marjorie Taylor Greene. And now when you look at something like this, I'm definitely a little thrown with his response. Honestly, it sounded a little bit like this. This seems like Trump is doing this a lot lately.
I feel great. I was shouting at people because they were stupid about something having to do with trade in a country, and I straightened it out. But I blew my stack at these people.
I blew my stack at these people, but I was yelling at people because they're stupid. That I fully agree with. I mean, honestly, Trump, I fully agree that people are stupid. I'm sure you have to blow your stack a lot, but sometimes aim it a little bit better. Let's get into this story because this is bugging the hell out of me, honestly, because you hear nothing. The FBI gives you nothing. You hear nothing about Trump shooter. It's a horrible mistake by the Secret Service, and all of a sudden that doesn't go away. One lady gets asked to step down from her job, and she kind of does, like reluctantly, but you haven't heard anything from it. And suddenly I hear Megyn Kelly today talking about Tucker Carlson. And honestly, after Tucker, I can't really listen to Tucker with the last couple of things he's doing. He's been irritating me with some of this stuff, but he gets this breaking story now. It's very interesting how the FBI doesn't get this, but someone like Tucker Carlson does. But this is Megyn Kelly. I have two videos on her, one short, one a little bit longer.
This stuff and just didn't tell us, or did the FBI not have any of it? Tucker has outlined this guy's social media use, which was deeply disturbing, and pointed to this guy being very right-wing up until January 2020. He was defending Trump. He was very pro-Trump. He also, this is not the right-wing part, happened to be racist. It sounded, he was making some, very racially charged posts. And then in January of 2020, it was like a 180. And he started to sound much more like a far-left progressive activist. And it escalated more and more and more over time. And I'm going to read you some of these, okay? So it started with...
So I have all the things he's going to be reading. But now all of a sudden, he does have an online presence. He had an online presence until, you're going to hear it in a second, until something happened. Where was this? For how long now? Well over a year. It was said that this kid had zero online presence. We couldn't even get into his cell phones. Remember this? Now all of a sudden we're able to read, and here we go. I'm gonna let you hear all of them because this is just very, very interesting. Let's see if I can pull this guy up. Here we go. So this is Megyn Kelly again.
Okay.
Listen to this.
This is July 2019. In response to an MSNBC video, science wins. You can't not only, this doesn't make sense, but it says, not only was he born here, he also belongs here. Ilhan Omar and others are invaders, he wrote, and should honestly be killed and their dead bodies sent back. And then Tucker highlights a series of increasingly violent rhetoric used in these texts. July 20th, 2019.
All right, so this is what you're hearing right now. Is you're hearing this kid's online posts from when he was a right-wing Trump supporter. That's what Megyn Kelly is reading out right now.
Said Donald Trump was the literal definition of patriotism. 7 hours later, says, I hope a quick, painful death to all the deplorable immigrants and anti-Trump congresswomen who don't deserve anything this country has given them.
Did you hear that? Deplorable congresswoman. So they're trying to make it sound like he is a right-wing guy, but he's calling left-wing people deplorables. When I start hearing this and I hear people like Megyn Kelly reading these things out, like the hairs in the back of my neck stand up. So I feel like the more and more, I think the reason why they're not bringing anything out about this guy is because it's going to be like, yeah, he was definitely some type of Fed plant or some type of deep state plant. It's got to be so obvious, and it seems like it is with these online posts. Listen, it gets more ridiculous.
That evening, a separate post. Every one of the Trump-hating Democrats deserve to have their heads chopped off, put on stakes for the world to see what happens when you fuck with America. These continued for months and became increasingly violent in tone. There was one about the squad saying, this will be blatantly racist, but I hope Trump has these people murdered. I think Tucker's showing us not only that he used to be pro-Trump, as he explicitly said, but very, very violent rhetoric that would generally get you on the radar of the FBI, given the officials that he was threatening. In one comment, he notes 50 million Americans with AR-15s will make quick work of any blockades the government can put to protect the White House. September of 19, most rioters don't bring assault rifles and body armor like we would, and we wouldn't be going to the streets. We'd be going to Washington.
So now this guy went from having no online presence whatsoever. I'm going to keep coming back to that because no online presence whatsoever to ridiculously violent online presence before this, talking about killing people, talking about killing a lot of people. Listen, it gets worse and worse and worse.
I mean, it's getting more and more violent. So again, you're thinking the FBI
Thanks, Megan.
keeps tabs on some of these things, but maybe not. Crooks responds in another text saying, cops can't arrest me if they're all dead, adding, even an untrained man with an AR-15 is dangerous. You think the Newtown school shooter or any school shooter trained? Nope. And by the way, Tucker reports that last exchange is still on the internet available, but the FBI didn't see that. He argues, he asks, that's hard to believe that they didn't see it. He starts attacking Robert Mueller in July of 2019. He should be hanged with the rest of the Democrats. This is a witch hunt, and so on. Then, okay, there's a shot at Jews. And then as of January 23rd, 2020, he seems to change radically, reports Tucker, having seen the social media.
So there you go. This guy seems to change radically right around COVID time. So it's almost like he got the COVID virus and then all of a sudden, poof, he goes from hardcore MAGA Trump, all liberals should die, to now I am a liberal Trump hater. Does a complete and total reversal.
Yeah. He refers to, quote, Trump's stupidity. He began to mock the concept of the deep state. It's simply made up on anyone who disagrees with the right wing. Conversation over. He, in February 2020, called out Trump supporters as, quote, too brainwashed to realize how dumb they are. Same day, he called them racist. People are just racist, and Trump is one of them. In April of 2020, peak phase of the coronavirus lockdown, sometimes public safety comes before your personal rights. Crook became very critical of conservative media. Viruses don't spread through race, just like Tucker Carlson probably told you. 4 months later, August of 2020, writes, in my opinion, the only way to fight the government is with terrorism-style attacks. Sneak a bomb into an essential building, set it off before anyone sees you, track down any important people or politicians, military leaders, and try to assassinate them. Any sort of head-to-head fight is suicidal. Even ambush or surprise attacks likely aren't going to end well. That was prophetic.
That was prophetic. But or do you mean to tell me that this guy is saying things like this online and it's not triggering anything? It's not triggering anybody? No, we don't know anything. Facebook knows when I call somebody a pussy online. Are you sure you want to call this person a pussy? Like, they actually pop up a little window. It's like, listen, man, you've gotten banned by this shit in the past. Can you just not do it this time? But this guy could post that type of stuff. No, it's like not ringing any alarm bells. Hey, we have to assassinate people. That's what he's saying. And then all of a sudden he's taking shots at Trump from a kind of concealed location where they should have been, patrolling, but they weren't because it was a little too hot and they were hanging out in the AC. And the guy had protection behind trees and a clear shot 130 yards from Trump. I don't know. Very interesting.
And then Tucker introduces this. At this point, after around August of 2020, someone who goes by Willie Tepes, T-E-P-E-S, online, it introduces himself into the Crooks conversation. He started pressuring Crooks to commit violence. For example, quote, if a gun and a badge is all that's needed, then authority obviously comes from that barrel of the gun. We have more guns than they do. There is no way we can avoid a war at this point, so you better just get used to it. We have nothing to lose and everything to win. In another post, the alternative, a global police state, is unacceptable. Nothing in life is simple, but that is no argument against doing it. Here's a bit from the Tucker documentary.
So that's it. And that is all of them. And then they say after those communications, Thomas Crooks then goes silent. Then all of his Facebook posts and all of everything, whatever the hell he was pushing, social media posts. Then he stopped doing everything online after he talked to this guy and was pushed by this guy. I don't know what to make of these things. Maybe you could help me out in the chat. Jay Caldas says, who is this guy and why isn't he in prison? I don't know. And you guys are talking about the weather. But I mean, help me out with this because I have no idea. I'm trying to make heads or tails over this stuff. Like, how do you say if you're the FBI and you have any credibility? And so far, the FBI, from what I could tell, they're trying to weasel their way out of looking bad about this, but they haven't denied that these things are real. They haven't denied that those aren't Thomas Crooks's online posts. So if they do know that they actually are them, why have they hid them from us? Why have they came out and said that he had no online profile and they couldn't even get in his phones? Oh, we still have 5. He had supposedly what, 5 like burner phones? Oh, we can't get in either one of them. And he had encrypted accounts and his family, everybody just packed up and is gone. The guy took a shot at Trump. You know nothing about his family. You know nothing about anybody. What's his address? No one knows that either. This is the craziest part about all this. And it once again, like, you're asking me for loyalty. You're asking the American people for loyalty when you're not delivering on some very basic things that I thought would be first and foremost in your mind to talk about. Why doesn't Trump want everything about his shooting released to us? Why is that being hidden? The guy's dead. We're not waiting for a trial. The guy's dead. They were spraying blood off the very next day. Remember the roof? Spraying it off. Let's clean that off real quick. I don't know. None of it makes any sense. But let's get to anybody else. I don't know. Let's see. Maybe has the chat froze again? I don't know. It seems like it's a little bit frozen because I had to get out and get back in the first time. But let's get to this story because this one was fucking hysterical. This is Michelle Obama. I'm just gonna let her speak.
What do braids mean? What does she mean? Look, y'all.
What does she mean? It's
what I mean, that's how white folks are. It's like, what does that mean? What are you saying? We're saying nothing except I just don't want to have to do my hair every day, and I want to go swimming. I don't want to have to worry about it. Let me explain something to white people. Our hair comes out of our head naturally in a curly pattern. So when we're straightening it to follow your beauty standards, we are trapped by the straightness. That's why so many of us can't swim and we run away from the water. People won't go to the gym because we're trying to keep our hair straight for y'all. It is exhausting and it's so expensive and it takes up so much time. Braids are for y'all so we can work harder and focus on the work. So why do we need an act, an act of law to tell white folks to get out of our hair? Don't tell me how to wear my hair. Don't wonder about it. Don't touch it. Just don't.
Did that make any sense to anybody? So she's wearing white girl hair while bitching about wearing white girl hair while telling you that white girls are prettier because they have beauty standards that black girls don't have. And all she wants to do is be filthy, not wash your hair, put braids on, and jump into a pool? Somebody has to explain that to me. You're trying to live up to white beauty standards? What happened to black beauty? I never thought white people cared about your hair. And why are you allowed to appropriate white girl hair? It drives me crazy. No, you're not supposed to be able to wear that hair. Don't straighten it. That's white girl appropriation. You love your hair so much. Why aren't you wearing it like that? Why aren't you wearing it like that? I don't know about you, but Instagram is full of just half-naked chicks. And I got to tell you, the blondes are hot. The black girls are hot. The black girls with afros are hot. They all are pretty damn sexy. You're not looking at their hair if they got nice everything else. Speaking of that, let's jump off of this really quick because I guess I have this loaded up. Apparently, nobody has seen a pair of tits anymore because this girl is she's like broke the internet. You broke Twitter. I'm not complaining. One person commented on her TikTok video. This is. I mean, look, her hair is curly. Michelle, her hair is curly. But everyone's acting like they haven't seen a pair of tits before in their lives. You see, Michelle, she didn't straighten her hair out. She looks like she just got out of a pool. And don't tell me, listen, do not cue up a swimming joke with black people. Do not do that because I can't not swing at those. I have to take that one on. You don't want to go swimming? Stop lying. You put your hair like that so you didn't have to jump into a pool. Some would say it was to hide your hair. I love it. Mama Duke says, tell him to shut up. Speaks like a meth addict, Agoon says. Screw you, Big Mike, J. Calda. I don't know who you're talking about. The PA shooter. Oh, I didn't know who you were talking about, the PA shooter. Oh, yeah, it was the PA shooter, Pops. Thomas Crooks. Who actually listens to this fool? No one listens to that fool. I mean, people actually do because they were cheering her. Did you hear her? And I love how I don't know what the thing is with these high-class black women turning ghetto as fuck immediately and becoming like these comedians. It's like, hey, y'all, listen, y'all, I love me some braids and shit. I just want to wear braids. I can't do my hair. You know, I can't do no motherfucking hair. All of a sudden, they went to these really nice schools, and all of a sudden they go full ghetto. No, you don't. Why are you putting it on? Y'all? You don't even, it doesn't even sound right. It sounds like me saying y'all. Y'all, my mouth doesn't even work like that. Y'all. I have to actually go like full Southern. Y'alls. I can say y'alls. Fucking people, man. I don't know. Anything else? All right. Any other comments on that besides no? Tell them to shut up. All right. This was funny. This was Trump today. Before we get to the news headlines, this was Trump basically ripping on a reporter for cutting him off. Listen to this.
I can't tell him. Will you let me finish my sentence? You are the worst. You're with Bloomberg, right? You are the worst. I don't know why they even have you. We've had some great interviews with Tucker Carlson, but you can't tell him who to interview. I mean, if he wants to interview Nick Fuentes, look,
I love him. That's Trump at his best right there. You got to give him a bone. I've been bashing him today. Now I toss him that bone. Those are the people you attack. Trump, that's who you attack. Someone that's been ripping you your entire existence. Not the people that have been very, very, very loyal to you. I don't know about that. Let's get to some breaking headlines. As you guys know, Starbucks, they are demanding their union. I can't even. Oh, I can't even say it. They're demanding more pay based on their union because they formulated the union, and they want less hours and more pay, like a typical idiot. And what I'm just trying to understand is how difficult is it to push a button? I don't know how difficult it is to be a barista, but we're going to see an interesting thing take place. this Starbucks business model over the next 10 years, we're going to see if this model could actually work, where you have people that have no skill whatsoever have now unionized based on that non-skill, and that I really do every morning in my kitchen. And I actually even grind the beans. It's all about the grind. If you know anything about coffee, it's all about the grind. The grind has to be perfect. But I do I do that in my kitchen. Yeah, that's really not a skill. If you haven't heard this story, this is fucking hysterical. Olivia Newsy reveals RFK Jr.'s bizarre response when news of their sexting scandal broke. If you haven't heard this, this was pretty funny. Um, the, I don't know what happened with these two. Apparently, they got each other's numbers and they started sexting each other. I don't think anything actually happened. I don't think they actually had sex. I don't think any of that. I think it was just kind of a texting messages back and forth. I read some texts. It's tough to know what's real, but it makes sense to me. If you're RFK, you would want to put that stuff in text form because, hey, I wanna lick your ass. Doesn't sound that good coming out of his mouth when he says it like that. I really want to go down on you, and it's like, that's not gonna work. I understand why he wants to text message that type of stuff, because hey, wanna fuck sounds better over text message than hey, wanna fuck you, like when you're trying to take a shit. I don't know. That was funny. Have you ever heard of this? The tick bite. A man from New Jersey dies from a meat allergy caused by a tick bite. The healthy 47-year-old man had unknowingly contacted alpha gal syndrome, the first known fatality from red meat allergy intolerance spread by ticks has been recorded. So they're talking about this as the first one. Apparently, the guy went into anaphylactic shock or something like that after eating meat and died from it. They're called the Lone Star tick. And it causes this alpha gal syndrome. It's interesting because I remember it's killer hornets and it's everything. Every year they want you to be afraid of some type of insect. This year it's this. Is it a real syndrome? Yes. Is it life threatening to certain people? Yes. Is it incredibly rare to die from this? Yeah. So when you hear something like this, it's going to put fear. God, it's going to make people lose their minds. Oh my God, I can't even go outside because of these ticks. And it's like I don't know if it's something that we need to really over cry about or whatever it is, right? Let's see this one. U.S. troops to Venezuela. Trump says, I don't rule out anything as tensions soar. So basically, we're still blowing up boats. I think it's Maduro over there. He's being propped up by like Russia, and and Iran, I hear, is also propping him up. Listen, I have no problem. Trump wants to do whatever he wants to do in Venezuela. Venezuela, those people, if you want to free anybody, you got to free them. Part of me does want Trump just to like say fuck the world and come back and park Air Force One and just sit in America and fix all of our problems, because I think we have a lot of them. I will say, there's a lot of things that are going really good that should be talked about. Gas prices coming down. Diesel prices are somewhat stable. They haven't really come down, but I'll take them not over $4. I'll take $3.60, $3.50. I really like it lower, but listen, it is what it is. Repos, if you haven't heard of this, the repos are a big problem. Apparently, they're saying approximately 3 million cars are projected to be repossessed in 2025, a level not seen since the Great Recession of 2009. I love how these fucking names. It's like I worked right through the Great Recession. This surge is attributed to factors like high car prices and interest rates, leading to larger monthly payments, as well as a rise in delinquencies on auto loans, especially among subprime borrowers. Subprime borrowers. Where have I heard that before? I don't know. Where have we heard that before? Who knows? But these are the problems, right? High numbers. More than 2.2 million vehicles have already been repossessed this year, and the final tally is expected to exceed 3 million. That number is close to the 2009 peak of about 3.2 million, indicating significant financial stress on the consumer. I think there is significant financial stress on the consumer. Once again, when you look at my car payment, when my wife was rear-ended, this is how fucked our system really is, and how we get screwed in the end nonstop. My wife gets rear-ended sitting at a light. We don't get everything the car's worth, of course, because the first bunch you're just paying for, you're paying for all the interest and all that horse shit. So we're out our $5,000 deductible, and then we're out that truck. And of course, nobody wants to fix it because the insurance companies can't waste their time on that. It's easier just to say it's completely totaled. Give me some money for it, put it out there, sell it. I think they still got 15 grand for whatever it was, and then somebody else is going to obviously fix it up and sell it again, right? But the next truck was double the price with way higher of an interest rate. So the insurance company is supposed to make me whole again, but they haven't. They didn't make us whole. If anything, getting in that accident and having that insurance really didn't help me much at all. Besides, I guess they paid for whatever the balance was left on the truck itself. But when it's all said and done, we got screwed. And we got screwed hard. And none of it was our fault. But what are you going to do? And then you try to figure things out with the other way. And it's if you don't get hurt, they don't give a shit about anything. Not the increase in payment, not the increase in the interest rate. None of it. They don't care. But it's the last thing. The forecast assessments. While only 3 million cars we physically repossessed, lenders have issued. Listen to this: 10.5 million repossession assignments for the year, with a significant portion of recoveries happening in the fourth quarter. 10 million. That tells me one thing, and one thing only: I'm not in the right business. I got to get into the car repo business, man, because it seems like that business is going to be booming. We had this on Leading Report. Thomas Crooks, the Trump shooter. Now it's funny how we're just dripping things about this guy. Had an interest in furries. Yeah, so he went from a Trump supporter to a furry all in a year and a half. Makes sense. Yeah, let's not talk about this kid and figure out why this happened. Maybe no, is that something we want to figure out? How did this guy go from a Trump supporter to taking a shot at him? No, let's not figure any of that shit out. Disney axes diversity DEI from Financial Report. Company event for the first time in years. Good, a little bit of Trump effect right there. That's a great thing. They should be pushing that everywhere. Hey, we're getting rid of DEI everywhere. But fuck it. Honestly, Disney went so far ridiculous. I don't know if they could do anything to really rehab their image at this point. 625 to 650,000 deportations so far in the first 10 months of the Trump administration, not including self-deportations, says Tom Homan. Now we're cooking, right? So we keep that pace. What are we talking about? We're talking about 600 and something in 10 months, right? Isn't that what we're doing? So you figure in a year we're going to be at 750,000 people. 4 years, what's that? Do the math on that after 4 years, and I think you have your number. A couple million people removed from the country. I think it's a drop in the bucket from the 25 million that we brought in. And again, another reason why we have to have the people in Congress do their jobs before we lose this in the midterms. He's going to lose in the midterms. We keep going where we're going. I got again news for everybody. If you haven't heard this story, this was an interesting one. A 53-year-old man was injured Tuesday night after being accidentally shot by his dog in the home of Shillington, Pennsylvania. Shillington, Pennsylvania. So a man got shot by his dog. And what's interesting is I haven't heard of common sense gun control for any type of animals. No paw printing. He didn't have to go through any process. And I wonder if he was even charged with a firearms crime. In New Jersey, I guarantee you that dog would be charged with a crime for firing a weapon illegally. I got a couple stories here. Over 50 largely view the economy. Oh, sorry, that wasn't supposed to have that one. Senator Ted Cruz is laying the groundwork for a 2028 presidential campaign. Ted Cruz, do yourself a favor. Just stop. You're not going to be president. You're not. If I eat these words, if we elect you, you are not going to be president for America. You'll be president for Israel. And Tucker Carlson exposed that for you in his last really good interview that he ever did in his life. Here's a couple stories. Muslim socialist Zohran Mamdani. Listen, a lot of people love him, giving him money. Let's see how much they want to give him in the future. But they already raised $1 million from New Yorkers for his transition to City Hall. Wow. And here's the second one. The U.S. economy will likely substantially accelerate in quarter one or quarter two of the next year, per Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Speaking of Scott Bessent, I have this. This is this Scott Bessent? I think this is Scott Bessent right here, talking about the Trump economy and affordability.
Administration. Here's the president from Florida last night.
From an economic standpoint, our prices are coming down very substantially on groceries and things. They're already at a much lower level than they were with the last administration. You're going to see some of the items that were a little bit higher. They were lower than the last administration, but a little bit higher. We're going to have some little price reductions, and in some cases, some pretty good ones. They use the affordability word. The affordability is much, much better with this.
The White House announcing it will roll back tariffs on grocery staples, including beef, coffee, bananas, and other food items. On Sunday, Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent told me how the process is happening. Watch.
This just didn't spring up. We've been working on it since day one. We've been working on trade deals with Central and South American countries for 6, 7, 8 months. Right. And just this past week, we signed the trade deals. So not only will the tariffs come off some of the things you just listed, like coffee, like the cocoa, many other bananas, many other items. That's a result of the trade deals going through, and then we will see this go down. And we're also seeing the import barriers for the other countries come through. So, all
right. So, I want to remind everybody what we've had throughout the years of doing these shows. I had the privilege of having a lot of different people come on the show. And I've had a couple cattle farmers on the show. And one of the things that both of them said was, when you get ground beef, there could be over 1,000 different types of DNA that are in that package, that 1 pound package of ground beef. Because what happens is we do import a lot of it from South America, from some of these South American countries. And you heard Scott Bessent right there say that about South America. So I just want everybody to keep in mind, when those prices do come down, how many different cows are you eating in that hamburger? I think is a very, very, very good question to ask. And yes, you might want that very inexpensive beef, but maybe why don't you try getting, one of the beefs one of the ranchers that are in America. You might have to pay a little bit more for it. But if you ask me, I'd rather pay a little bit more than have American than have imported beef from some of these South American countries. And I got to tell you something. My wife, when we got into the Dominican Republic, she saw some of the cows that were on the side of the road, and she couldn't eat any meat just by the look of the cows. She couldn't even do it. So she was kind of disgusted by that meat. So I'm just, letting everybody know that is part of the reality. PT Pod says that Trump 2K. Let's get it. Jay Calder says, if you want to, wait, hold on. A Caldery says, I think we should all get vaccinated. Hey, you start, and then I won't be behind you to do that. But listen, I will go to the girls' soccer games. when what Jay Calder says, if you want to die early, get vaxxed, definitely. Yep, we are all going down there. Is that what PT Pod says? Yes, I'm going to go down on you. Yeah, like it's spoken like a real athletic. I love it. And that Trump 2K. And then once again, hop over to PT Pod. My man, you are, I think you're doing a show right after me. I think that's it, right? Do we have anything else that we could talk about? No. Epstein victims, H-1B training. Oh, that one was really, really interesting. I led to this. President Trump says the U.S. needs to make H-1B immigrants to make computer trips and to train our people. We need training from these people, from H-1B visa people. We need them to train our people how to make trips. It's kind of very interesting. Just for shits and giggles, to check out some tits again. Great tits on you. Good job, girl. I love these girls that get famous for their body. A Haktua girl got famous for spitting on something, and then she is no longer anywhere to be found. And I want to give you, coming out Wednesday night, this is right after the Caltrop. I'm going to air this. This is what I alluded to a little bit earlier in the show. This is a fraction. I've already posted this, but this is a fraction of just my interview that I've been working on. And listen, this is probably one of the easiest interviews I've ever gotten as far as challenging anybody to come on. So I'll give you a little taste of this real fast. Let me ask you a question. When you look at the frustrations of the people and the people of Jackson, to where that they have lived there forever, right? And you see their frustrations. Do you view them as just anti-Semitic frustrations, or do you view them as legit frustrations that need to be dealt with?
Sure. So
yeah, I'll tease that a little bit out there for you. So that was the tenor of the conversation. Very, very frank, very honest. It's going to be interesting to hear people, talk about how easy I went on them or whatever it was. Listen, I'm not looking to fight with people unless we need to. He came on out of a lot of respect, and if you come on respectfully, I'm going to give you a lot of respect. And part of what I think is missing is a conversation factor. Now, whether you want to believe what he says or not, I didn't believe everything the guy said. Okay, especially about some of the intentions. I think it was a lot of lip service, but I've never heard lip service before, and I wanted to hear it. I've never heard it from anybody else's perspective. I was able to get into their mind and hear what somebody was thinking, and not just guessing and not making assumptions and not making some ridiculous accusations or anything like that. I want to have conversations with people, and I want to get down to the bottom of it. So that will be airing Wednesday, right after the Caltrop. I'm gonna wait about 30 minutes, and then I'm gonna put it out there. But thank you guys very much. Jay Callis says, enjoy the show. Really appreciate all you. Yankee 68, A Goon, A Calories, Mama Dukes, PT Pod. Love you, brother. Love you guys. He's that's Fresh Mike, man. He does such a good job on Fridays with me, man. And does such a good job on the PT Pod. Him and his co-host talk about a lot of different things. They have his watch-alongs are hysterical. Tomorrow, definitely tune in the PT Pod. The Power Sports Time is absolutely fucking hysterical. I love that show. Yankee 68, everybody. Jersey Abe, love you, Jersey Abe. Jersey Abe is the best. Been with me forever. And Agoon, of course. Love you guys. Really appreciate all you guys. Remember, finger blast my like button on every single one of our platforms. I really appreciate it if you could like, share all of them, and always, if you're new to this, check me out across all the platforms. I'm not set up on everything yet, but I'm either Center Cut Media or Mike Calories, from YouTube to Rumble, Facebook. X is going to be coming soon, and some more platforms. But thank you guys very much. Remember, you need to be your own Caltrop, and the way you need to be your Caltrop is being loyal to yourself. Don't be loyal to a party, and certainly don't be loyal to people that don't give you loyalty in return. To me, you're going to be loyal to yourself when you hold people accountability to the loyalty that they're holding you accountable for. So listen, ask your questions, be your Caltrop, to where you are not just blindly following people that aren't living up to some of the promises that they promised you. And thank you guys very much. Remember, this Caltrop is always going to do the work for you. This Caltrop is out. Later.